Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alenvil, and welcome to the first episode of this little thing I'm going to do where I talk about stuff that are going to happen in esports around the week or weekend in this case. So let's get into it. Some things I'm going to talk about now and perhaps not be really informative. For example, I want to talk about a bit of I Am Katowice because I've been kind of interested in that one because I'm not really that big in to CS:GO, but I'm trying to just tip my feet into this one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what has been going on. So we've been having the major, which is in Katowice, so the Inter Extreme Masters, which is the major this time around. And right now we are in the champion stage where we do have two games of the quarterfinals already played. We had Navi versus FaZe, which Navi won 2-0 since it's a best of 3 every time. And then we had Team Liquid versus ENCE. And surprisingly enough, ENCE won that one as well, 2-0, because Liquid did feel a bit off during that matchup. It felt like they were not really a kind of team. It was more of individual play, and ENCE just brought them down with the teamwork. They did have a second map, which was quite close because they went into overtime, and ENCE pulled out through that one, and that was amazing, to be honest. So that is a bit of the coverage for CSGO this time. Probably Monday, Tuesday, when I do my recap of what happened over the weekend, there I will talk about that in more detail and probably go more around what is about that and perhaps even put in some footage. We'll see about that one. So we're now moving over to Overwatch. We are by Overwatch, we are still in stage 1 of the Overwatch League. We had yesterday a few games already played, which were Washington Justice versus Philadelphia Fusion, which the Fusion won 3-1. Seoul Dynasty versus the Boston Uprising, which the Boston Uprising won 3-1 as well. Then we had Florida Mayhem versus the Guangzhou Charge, which was won by the Charge 3-2, and San Francisco Shock versus the Hangzhou Spark, and surprisingly enough for me, the Spark lost that one to the Shock with 3-1. So today, around, if you're on YouTube, I think around midnight, is still a few matches coming up with the Gladiators versus the London Spitfire, Toronto Defiant versus NYXL. Then we have the Titans against Valiant, the Shanghai Dragons versus the Hunters. So we're now going to go around the matches. So for example, between the London Spitfire and the Gladiators, I do think the Spitfire will pull through because I don't know. I just don't feel like the Gladiators are strong enough. I would probably say a 3-1 for the Spitfire. Toronto versus the NYXL, let's be honest, I'll go for the NYXL there. I think this is going to be a 3-1. The NYXL sometimes seem to drop one map at random against opponents. They don't really know what they think about. We saw that with the Justice as well. So I'm going for that one. Then we have the Titans versus Valiant. I'd say the Titans win that one, probably 3-1. And then we have Shanghai Dragons versus the Chengdu Hunters. I'd say the Dragons will take that one again. I think they're going on a high now. They first got their first victory, and now they're going to roll. I think that will be a 3-2. Could be a quite good matchup. I think both teams have it in it to win this one. So then we have on the Saturday, we have the games of Paris Eternal versus the Atlanta Reign. I feel like the Eternal are quite a strong team, so I'll say this would be a 3-2 for the Eternal. Then we have the Mayhem versus the Outlaws, which I'd say the Outlaws will win. I say 3-1. Then we have the San Francisco Shock versus the Washington Justice, where I think the Justice will get another map off that one, so the Shock win 3-1. And then this could be quite an interesting one. The Shanghai Dragons versus the Dallas Fuel. I say the Fuel will win this one barely with the 3-2. I'd say the Dragons could pull it out depending on how the match the day before ends, and I think that could be quite a momentum shift. And then the last matches of the day for the week for us, it would be starting off with the Boston Uprising versus the Toronto Defiant, where I say the Defiant will actually lose that one, unfortunately. With the 3-2 to the Uprising, I feel like the Uprising aren't that strong of a team, but I think they could slightly edge out the Defiant in a way, depending on what happens with the whole situation with call-ups and all that stuff. Then we have the Spark versus the Gladiators. I'll say the Spark win that one 3-1. Valiant versus Charge. I give it a 3-2 to Valiant. And then the NYXL versus Seoul Dynasty, kind of a Korean derby, because we all know the NYXL is counted as New York, but it's more like it's the Korean team, and I say they beat them in a really awful fashion for the Dynasty with a 4-0. Yeah, and we'll look, as I said, we'll look on Monday or Tuesday. We'll look more in depth on that one, and I probably can say more about those matches then. So that is the Overwatch week. For now, we'll now move over to League of Legends. We're going to start in the LCE. We're going to skip over the LPL and LCK till Monday or Tuesday, whenever I'm going to do that podcast, the next one actually, or the next video, so I can actually talk more about them instead of just jumping into the middle of the day where I talk about both of those, half the matches, and can't talk about the other half because they're still going on. So we start off week 7. We have, as the first match of today would be, as we are recording it on Friday right now, OG versus Splice. I'd say I'll give OG the win. They'll win that matchup probably in my eyes, because Splice is a good team, but I just don't feel like Splice have what it takes to just close up to the upper level, which means Splice will drop down quite a bit and it could be quite dangerous. Then we have XL versus SK. Well, to preference something I was last week, and on the Saturday I was in the studio, so I have a bit of a feeling right now about those matches, and probably that makes me a bit more biased towards the winners of those, but I feel like SK will beat XL. XL did get a good showing versus G2, but SK is closer towards the top, and they just need the win right now. Then I think that could be probably match of the week there, with or match of the day at least, Misfits versus Vitality. I'd say Vitality had a strong showing against Fnatic. That was a really good matchup. But I'm more inclined to give Misfits the edge because they played really well. The team finally feels like they're on the same page, and they'll take another victory, beating Vitality. Then we have Rogue versus G2. G2 is still on the road to just have the most wins they can possibly get. They can't do the 18-0 the max winning anymore, because they lost a match. So, but I think they still want to win this one, and unfortunately Rogue isn't the team I would say they are inclined to beat them. So I'm going to give that one to G2. And then we have Fnatic versus Schalke 04. This is a bit of an iffy one. Fnatic has to kind of win out, otherwise they're out of the competition anyway. And Schalke is after the loss last week and like in an iffy situation. I'll say let's go for a surprising one. Schalke wins that one, and Fnatic are almost doomed to win everything out, otherwise they are completely out of contention. So then going down the next one, we have G2 versus SK on Saturday. G2 SK, as I said about both teams already, I think this will be another victory for G2. G2 feels like they just want to go rolling and rolling and rolling. So G2 takes that one. After that, we have Schalke versus Splice. I'd say Schalke keeps on their momentum, win that one as well, so they keep up with the top right now. Rogue versus Fnatic. Sorry, Rogue, can't give you that one. Fnatic wins it. Then we have Misfit versus XL. XL has a good, as I said, XL did a good showing versus G2. It just didn't work out for them. And I'll say Misfits, who have now found their footing, are going to keep on going and win that one as well. And then we have Vitality versus OG. Two of my favorite kind of managers / coaches of the team with Vitality, with Yamato Cannon. I love that dude. He's just great. And then we have OG with Deficio, who's always fun. And we have Year of the Duck, of course, on the OG side. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give it to Vitality in that one. OG loses, unfortunately, that matchup and fall a bit behind. But there's still time to recover with the standings right now. Well, that's my thought process on that. So now we'll move over the pond to the NALC. To the LCS now. It's not the NALCS anymore. That was last season. So we have Monday. We're starting off with TSM versus Echo Fox. Well, TSM has been on quite a roll since the last few to 8 weeks, and I think they're going to continue that against the Fox. Unfortunately, I can't give the Fox the victory here. I do love Echo Fox, but it's just not in their case right now. Then we have the Golden Guardians versus C9 as the follow-up matchup. Honestly, Golden Guardians, I like you guys. You seem like a good bunch, but no cigar against C9. Just not gonna happen. C9 has too much firepower to just fall to the Golden Guardians. I mean, the Golden Guardians have been improving. I love Ole as their support. It's just not going to be enough to pull him out. Then we have Counter Logic Gaming versus FlyQuest. This one is an interesting one, actually. I'd say Counter Logic Gaming could win this one, but I'm going to go with FlyQuest because I feel like they are a bit stronger than Counter Logic right now, and Counter Logic Gaming has to somehow figure something out. It just feels like they haven't found their footing since the departures of Afromu, to be honest, and a few others. And the whole franchising thing, because CLG hasn't been going well since franchising started. Then we have Optic versus Team Liquid. Well, I'm going to give it to Team Liquid. Optic is a good team right now. They feel better than they were beforehand and all of that, but it's just Team Liquid. Team Liquid is in all positions better than Optic, unfortunately for Optic, and that's going to cost them. And then we have Clutch Gaming versus 100 Thieves. I don't know what's going on with 100 Thieves, but I want to see Bang just roll out and just kill everything they can find, so I'm going to just roll with 100 Thieves, even though it feels like that's not going to be the way to go. Counter Logic Gaming is a good team right now. They have a good bot lane that's working out quite nicely, with Piglet especially, and he's an ace for them in any way, shape, or form, especially since he is now a resident, which helps a lot out for their slots there. So then we're moving over to Sunday, where we have as the starting match FlyQuest versus Optic Gaming. Optic, I feel like they, as I said, they've been improving quite well, and I will even give him the victory here against FlyQuest, which will be quite nice. And then, probably the matchup of the week in the LCS, Cloud9 versus TSM. Well, honestly, I'd say Cloud9 wins that one. I feel like Sneaky could control the lane a bit more. Sven has been looking quite well. Broken Blade is looking hell of a good. That's going to be exciting to see. Licorice against Broken Blade. Mid, Bjergsen will probably win out because I feel like Niski isn't at the position we want him to be yet. But it's going to be a good matchup, I feel like. They're going to fight each other quite a bit. I don't think that a lot of mistakes are going to happen that will cost either team. After that firework will be Team Liquid versus Counter Logic Gaming. I have to give it to TL there. They're going to win that one. So they go 2-0 out of the week. Then we have 100 Thieves versus the Golden Guardians. I'd like to see Bang win again, but I feel like the Golden Guardians are going to pull this one out. Definitely has some hidden tricks in his sleeve that I think he's going to pull out for this one, and that could be quite an accomplishment for the Golden Guardian. And then, as the last match of the weekend, we have Echo Fox versus Clutch Gaming. And I'd love to give it to Fox, but honestly, I feel like Clutch Gaming will win this one as well. And unfortunately, the Fox roster, half of the Fox roster, won't get their revenge on their former team. So, yeah, that's going to happen. I think this will be a few good matches. I feel like Team Liquid will still keep running away with that one, and we will be closing in on that. So, I think it's right now a bit short and sweet. This is going to be the first episode. I think next week we're going to improve quite a bit when I try to put in some highlights and all that stuff from the other regions, for example, the LCK, the LPL, then from IEM Katowice, and next week we'll probably even try to incorporate Fortnite and StarCraft 2 and a few others. So we're going to broaden the horizon. This is just right now for me a kind of warm-up thing, and perhaps some people will be interested in that. And whoever watched it, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.